In those days,
You?
pre-work club is where everything is happening, all
Yes.
sort of exciting and things.
What caused you to decide? What was it that
Well, I
happened?
actually grew up in a Christian home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to go to Sunday school, go to church, and you have Christ within you. But as you grow older, you stray away, gone into the world, trying to do things of the world. But somehow the Lord didn't let us go, still hold
Yes.
on to me, and I decided to give up. I got into an accident, and I realized that, because of my sporting behavior and ups and downs, this happened to me, and I'm going to change my life.
Yes.
And I just come back to the Lord, accept the Lord my Savior. I was a lover of music, always be a music collector, always had listened to the top music. I have them. I always have them. So when I accept the Lord, I have to give away all those music. Couldn't
Mm-hmm.
keep that anymore because I'm listening to different type of music now.
Yes.
So I love singing, so I started to sing with a brother in the church called Hilton Frey. We started out as a duet, and people started to enjoy us. And then a sister by the name of Monica Olness joined us and become a trio. So after we became a trio now, we start to sing and give ourselves the name called the Heavenly Seekers. And we start to go around singing in churches, and people enjoying us, and we enjoying it at the moment until when they were invited to sing at the Church of God Deliverance Center in Jonestown, 911 French Street. Never forget that church. That's the mother church
Mm-hmm.
of where I was. And then the topic of that crusade that week was about grace,
Yes.
God's grace. And when we sung that night, the three of us, the Bishop Wilfred W.A. Shaw, he came to the audience and said, "You have just listened to the Grace Thrillers."
Wow.
But we didn't take on the name that time yet. We're still going on as Heavenly Seekers. So a few weeks after, we went to visit him. And he said to us, "How the group doing, man? How the group doing?" I said, "We're doing well, Pastor." He says, "What is the name?" I said, "We're the Heavenly Seekers." And he said, "No, you're the Grace Thrillers."
Wow.
And that's when we,
Just like
just
that.
like that, that's when we really accept the name.
Yes.
And we've been thrilling people through God's grace. That's what
So
really
you
happening.
started as a trio. Did you have a band at the time?
No band. I bought a box guitar,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Play
tried
your
to do a
box
little,
guitar.
yes, and we
Ah,
do.
I can just imagine. Oh my
Yes,
God.
and that was the music cut in the
Yes,
days.
yes,
Until we have other members join, and we keep on additioning people,
yes.
and yeah,
Rest is
the rest
history.
is
And
history.
what a history.
What a history.
Now, what was the first song? Can you remember what song you were singing at that crusade?
The song we're singing at the crusade, I can't remember what song was it.
But do you remember any of the early songs?
Yes, I can remember the early songs. I was on I was on YouTube the other day, and I don't know how somebody find that song. The first song I ever caught was a 45, and the title of it was "Jesus is Coming for You and for Me." I
Wow.
wrote that song, and when I heard it, I was shocked. Where that person find that song
Sing
from?
a little bit. Just sing the chorus.
Jesus is coming for you and for me. Are you ready to meet him when he comes?
Oh, yes.
You remember hearing that
Yes.
song? That was the first
Oh,
song I
my
recorded.
goodness.
And I was so delighted to put it up on the
Yes.
YouTube. So from there, the first recording we did, the album, was I've Got a Love.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about that the other day.
Yes, right. And that album, in those days, Nadine, you just have to make a record and hope that somebody will buy it.
Yes. It
It
was
wasn't
that
like
bad
that. Yeah, it
then.
was that
Well,
bad.
honey, it hasn't
You
gotten better
make a
now.
record and you take it to the record store
And
and
you
you have to
just
leave it
pray.
there and
And them time
decide
it was the LP or
yeah,
the
it was
yeah
LP there.
45, right?
As the vinyl days, you leave it there and consignment. If it sell, you get something, and sell it's
Yes.
there. So it wasn't about the money, it was just want to achieve something.
Yeah.
But when we did the second album, By the Grace of God, that album pushed I've Got a Love. And that's where everything started to move on. But, we have go from different stage to different stage in the music business.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things people used to love when we just sing the old traditional
Mm-hmm.
gospel style singing, We moved into the American standard, you know. American have influence in the world, so we
Yes,
always
yes.
go to the music.
You have a story though of going to the United States and singing, you know, the American type sound,
Yes.
and they were asking for a Jamaican type sound.
Yes, I
Tell
wanna
us a
come
little
to
bit
that.
about that.
That is interesting. We were singing at this Black American church in Baltimore.
Yes.
Remember this clear as day. And while we were trying to sing like them, the pastor came over to me and said, Brother Willis, can you give me something Jamaican, man? And I was a little bit embarrassed because we didn't have anything Jamaican,
Yeah.
you know. And
So what
anyhow,
did you do?
I guess we tried to do one of those clap and song, you know, lively song, but it wasn't really reggae. So when I came home, it really hit me that God has given us a culture, given us a culture.
Yes.
And people really bring us to their country because they want to hear
They
about
want to hear the
Jamaican.
culture.
Yeah, the
That's
culture
right.
right there.
Yeah.
So I came home with the intention that I'm going to really step out into a different but God would have it that Glenn Johnson was our producer at the time.
I remember
He
Glenn.
migrated to
Bahamas, yes.
So it was really left without a producer or a music director. And then I used to borrow equipment from Fab Five, you know. So one day I went there to pick up a piece of equipment and Grove Cooper said to me, Noel, want me to produce your next album, man? I said, "Sure."
And now that, the rest of that is history.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Because those songs,
But
that
then
took it to a different level.
Let me tell you something. What was happening in those days is totally different from what is happening now. Because you couldn't take a drum set into a church in those days.
The blood.
They don't want it here.
Yes.
I've seen several concerts stop because of the heavy music.
Yes.
They just want the organ or the piano.
Yeah.
And